George can just tell us. So tell me, George, what's the process here? What's happening here?
So now the process here, we are separating the vermicompost, that is the fine vermicompost, from the worms and the uncomposted material. So now that is the process that is going on here.
And how long does the process take before you get fine components like this?
The process takes a period of 6 to 8 weeks. That is a month and a half to 2 months, depending on the number of worms that we have in the units.
So within that time frame, do you have to feed it on anything? Do you put some more components as you wait for the 8 weeks?
There is nothing that we keep on adding. Just once we do the setup, that is with the animal droppings and the worms. From there, we just now give it time for the worms to feed on everything. Then now we can come and start now the process, that is harvesting.
But now what are some of the benefits? Because now we have the outcome here. What are the benefits? Or you will tell me on the other side of the farm.
So now once we get the farm,
yes,
we'll show you the uses.
Yes.
But normally we use it for planting, for top dressing, as a source of now the organic fertilizer.
Okay.
So normally for the vegetables, we do indigenous vegetables. Also for fruits like avocados, we use this for top dressing.
Okay, then we can make our way there.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, we can do that. We'll just get now the red one.
Okay.
Then now we can
carry it, yeah?
to the farm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kuna spinach hapa.
Yes, hapa kuna spinach. Na ndizo tutafanya top dressing.
Okay.
Tuongezee mbolea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Niko ready.
So we continue.
Show me the quantity.
So tunaweka mkono moja hivyo. Then now so tunaiweka hivyo around the root like that. We cover.
Okay.
So that is how we top dress.
Okay. Now let me show you how to convert waste into fertilizer. Like this. George.
Yeah.
But now, even as we continue doing this and top dressing, which crops are favorable for this particular manure or fertilizer?
Majorly we focus on vegetables. The indigenous and the others. Like in the farm, we have spinach, kales, managu, terere, cauliflower. So those are some of which we use. And also now, depending on the need, at times we top dress fruits like avocados and the like.
That is really important, especially for someone who wants to venture into vermiculture. But now, what are some of the key things that one should know when they are getting into vermiculture?
They should consider maybe the targets, because one may start up na maybe na 10 acres. So you need to do your calculations, know that I'm planting this during this time, so I need to prepare this amount of compost. So you look at that is the target or the demand that is there, maybe in your farm. Then now look at the structures that you're going to put in place, because different places we said we can devise different units, so that you can also look at your cost. Then you need to look at the kind of waste you are getting, because now the kind of waste you are getting will determine what kind of structures you are going to put in place. Ili ikuwe a viable system for you.
I've also seen a very good uptake of BSF, and also there is this vermiculture now, especially for worms. So what's the major difference? Because someone will look at this and say, they are all like insects and worms. What's the big deal about this?
So now you need to factor in what do I want to get. Majorly that is what I look at. Because now if you compare like BSF and red worms, you find that they may work the same way, but now whatever we get is not the same. You find that for the worms, they will give you 80% of whatever you feed them. That is for the red worms. For the BSF, you find that they use 70% of whatever you feed them. So the production is a bit low from the BSF in terms of compost. But now the protein, that is what you're targeting to get. Yeah. Now on the other side, we don't really focus using the worms as a source of protein. So that is now the major difference. So you need to know, am I looking at the protein or am I looking at the fertilizer?
But now where is your market? Where would you say you really sell your fertilizer to or your worms to?
My market is not just around here. I have been able to look for markets in different places, majorly like in Nairobi, people who are doing a lot of urban gardening. And also, now that is for the compost, of which is the biggest percentage of whatever I sell. Now for the worms, we keep on getting orders from different farmers or different big farms, of which that is not a consistent market. But now for the compost, like on a monthly or after 2 months, we are able to produce and sell. So that is what we produce in mass.
So the market for compost is much bigger than for selling worms itself?
Yeah.
And now to one of the most important questions that people are looking forward to, the pricing. How much does it cost?
Now for the compost, we sell at 50 shillings per kg. Yeah. For the worms, we sell at 2,500.
And I have a funny question. When it comes to transporting or transportation of worms, when someone has placed an order perhaps, how do you transport it and ensure that it gets there safely and not spoiled or dead?
We have special baggings that we put that will allow air. Then now we can be able to put them in cartons. And that way, you can now be able to transport them. But now what we do for the worms, we don't sell, we don't put them as pure worms. Because now one thing with the worms, they have to live in their surrounding because of their body. If we just remove them and package them that way, you find that a good percentage of them will die during transit. So we just remove much of the droppings or the casting. We leave them with about 30% of the casting, then now we can be able to pack and send.
That was just to fulfill my curiosity. But now, how is the future of vermiculture? Because now you're a very young person, still so many years ahead to practice agriculture if you'd love to.
Yeah.
How is the future of vermiculture?
Vermiculture, we can say it's just very young, so it's developing. And what I see, there is a very bright future in it. Because you find that at where we are standing at, we say that we are moving towards organic farming. And we are trying so much to give organic solutions. So one of the solutions is vermiculture. So there is a very bright future there. And also the urge that most people want to live healthy. This is one of the ways. And also another part is that we are trying as much as possible to work towards managing waste management. So worms are a big instrument when it comes to waste management. So they turn all that waste into organic fertilizer. So there is a bright future that I can see in vermicomposting, and I can advise even the youth to take up these different things. Now the idea of worms and insects farming, it's really developing. So there are many different worms or insects that one can be able to venture in, depending on where they are and what they have.
Is it a profitable venture?
Yeah, it is a profitable venture. For the past 9 years, I can say it's a profitable venture. Yeah.
Wow, good to hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Much welcome.
And we can continue putting the top dressing, so that we don't leave the farm hanging.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
And with that, we've come to the end of the show today. We are truly impressed by what we've seen here. And there you have identified that you don't need a huge tracts of land to start vermiculture farming. In a small portion, you can begin vermiculture. And just to remind you, this is rearing of worms. And there are two take homes for me. Number one, rearing of worms. So you choose whichever variety of worm that you want. But basically, the main thing here, two take homes for me, is that number one, you can actually convert waste to fertilizer, right? And another thing is that Kilimo na Biashara, we are so big on empowering youth to venture into agriculture. And with George here, who's very youthful and very strong in agriculture, we are totally impressed. I hope that you have been empowered as well, and you can venture into this particular type of farming. Thank you so much for staying with us. See you again next Sunday for yet another amazing Kilimo na Biashara show.